Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. It's battle report number 8. It's a 2,000 point battle. Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogres. Yes, I'm still playing Ogres. Versus the best opponent in the world, the Immortan So. And he's playing filthy elves, but that's fine because even if I get beat by elves, as long as I kill at least one, I have won. Because I would happily sacrifice every ogre on the planet to kill an elf, because that's how much I hate them. Not the people that play them. People that play them are fine, you know? But it's just the elf race in general. May they all rot in hell. So, yes. This is a good game. It's a lot of fun. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how it goes. Here's my list, and there's been no change from the last battle report because I played this game in the same day and I wanted to give it a fair shake. So I still have my captain on a chariot with the diadem dragonkind. I got a boomer sergeant with a scrying amulet, I got an army standard with a healing charm, and I got a second boomer sergeant with an inspiring talisman. I know it's not the greatest list in the world, but I'm not going for like the rock hard net list or anything like that. I want a list that's as much fun to play as it is to field, and you know, just kind of my own thing. But at the same time, I also don't want it to be the reason I keep losing. And I don't believe that I've had any list that's the cause. I believe it's me. But anyway, that's what's in my list so far. Yeah, I'm rambling. Then I've got a unit of Berserker Braves in Horde formation with the Blessing of the Gods. I have a second unit of Berserker Braves, also in Horde formation, and they have the Chant of Hate, because I don't see Berserkers as a loving sort of ogre. I've got 2 units of Siege Breakers, both in Horde formation, one of which I gave Fire Oil because I had 5 points left over. Should have probably given like the Blade of Slaying or the Mace of Crushing, but Fire Oil is Fire Oil. And then I've got the big guys. I've got a Mammoth with a Ballista, I've got a Giant, and I have a Red Goblin Blaster. I love the blasters, I really do. Even when I get my Varangur army up, I think I might go ahead and do allies and throw a blaster in here somehow. That's how much I love them. We'll see, though. We'll see. Anyway, that's going to do it for my list. I'm going to post my opponent's list, play some music. Feel free to pause it whenever you like to see what he took. And that brings us into deployment. Now keep in mind, I'm fresh off of getting tabled from my last game against Elves, and this is a very different elf list. He's got Cav, he does have a dragon of course, he's got 3 bolt throwers, he's got a big old horde brick of shooters, he's got a rock solid elf list, and he seems to know what he's doing. I still haven't gotten my mind around how to play this game yet, and that's not the game's fault at all, that is 100% mine. So I do what I think is right, and I have a lot of my stuff masked up in the middle. Now, I've got my Siege Breakers with the Inspiring Talisman, what's it called? Boomer Sergeant, and a Red Goblin Blaster on my right there, and I'm going to shoot them through the forest and try to get them into the Bolt Thrower and the Dragon and everything that's over there, because that's what I think I'll need to do in order to get that. I've got Berserkers, the other Siege Breaker unit, the Army Standard, and my Mammoth shooting up the middle, and I'm hoping that just one of those units can get into his Archer unit, the Sea Guard in the middle, and deal with the Cavalry as well. I'm not really sure what he's going to do with the Cav, but I know it's got like movement 9 or speed 9 or something crazy like that. So I'm just kind of sacrifice something. I want to get stuff into his shooters as soon as possible. And then on the left flank, I got everything else, and they're going to go into the Cav and his treekin or whatever they are in the middle there, or on the left flank there. I've got the character on a bear. That's my second Red Goblin Blaster. I'm sorry. Maybe I did change this. No, I'm sorry. That's later. That's a different game. Ignore that. The captain and the giant are going to be my sacrificial lambs, and I'm hoping that the berserker braves with the chant of hate, I believe, are going to go and slam into them and do a bunch of damage, and hopefully finish them off. And I've got my boomer sergeant with the scrying gem. He's just going to go over there and also sacrifice himself, hopefully giving something good a flank charge and taking out his left flank. That's my plan. It's not a good one, but it's what I got, and that's what I go with. That's it for deployment. And here's top of one after movement. He won the roll to go first, and he took it. As you can see on the right flank there, his dragon comes flying down the right side, which sucks. I was really hoping to be able to get something into him, but I can't. His dragon is, I believe, hidden by the forest, so I can't even shoot at him. He can't shoot back, but he's a flippin' dragon. What am I going to do? In the middle there, he doesn't move at all because there's no reason to. I have to come to him, and he knows it. And by going forward, his 20-inch range dragon will have a flank charge into just about anything he wants. And I've been thinking maybe I would have sacrificed a mammoth and let him give it a shot, yeah, and then I could countercharge with the siege breakers and the blaster and everything else. But I don't think of that until right now when I'm looking at the top of one. So what can I do? On the left flank there, his treekin is tree herder, and his cav move up cautiously. He knows he has range on me, so I've got to throw something out there for him to take a shot at. And I will, because I'm a giver. Other than that, he's got nothing going on in movement. In the pansy phase, his big old unit of archers fire at my berserkers and are only able to do 2 wounds, so I got lucky there. I'll be the first to admit it. And then his bolt throwers start firing. I think 2 of them fire at my siege breakers and each do a single wound. That defense 6, it's a world of difference between defense 5 and defense 6. It really shocks me. And his third one fires at my berserker braves, putting 2 more wounds on them. Everyone passes their nerve checks, so we're good to go. With no combat, because he's a pansy elf, we go over here to bottom of one after movement, where a real ogre moves. Kinda. So, yeah, I fire forward into the middle as far as I can. The mammoth doesn't go as far because I can't charge into the forest like that, so he moves up right up to the edge and stops. The siege breakers and the berserkers and the army standard, they all fly forward because we're going to try to get a hold of these things as quick as we can. Yes, I know that his cav can charge me, but I don't think they could take my siege breakers and in the front arc there. So if he does charge them, the berserker braves and the mammoth would countercharge, and that would be glorious. On the left flank, my captain and my giant hold back a little bit. I fire my boomer sergeant, over to the left there, trying to pull a charge, but he's really not placed as well as I thought he was. That's my fault completely. Just lazy, stupid, whatever. I was having a good time. We were talking a lot of trash. That's one of my favorite things about playing against this guy. It's not even about the game. Half the game is played in words. It's like we're on the internet while looking at each other in real life. I love it. On the right flank, I get all tied up. I'm 8 ways stupid. My, what's it called? I don't move the Goblin Blaster because I'm stupid. I should have moved it towards the dragon, forcing him to move closer, maybe even charging my Berserker Braves. That would have been fine. I'm sorry, not Berserker Braves, my other unit of Siege Breakers. That would have been fine because they probably wouldn't have broke, and then I could have blown up my thing. It was stupid. So instead, I use the Blaster as a buffer, making it so that if the dragon did charge, he would only be able to get a hold of the blaster, most likely. But yeah, this was really stupid on my part, and I'm embarrassed. The Boomer Sergeant on the right flank moves over there just in case to give rerolls, and that's it for movement. Since there's nothing else going on in my turn because I just don't have a well-rounded list, here's top of 2 after movement. And on the left flank, he definitely outmaneuvers me. His 1 unit of treekin, or whatever the hell they're called, slam into my Boomer Sergeant. He takes the bait there, and I'm fine with that because I will send the Berserkers in. I think that's a good matchup. On the left, I didn't realize this, but he had plenty of range with his cav into my giant. I'm an idiot. So it is what it is. He gets a hold of my giant, and I'm going to lose him because I'm dumb. I'm really bad at this game. I'm loving the game. There's nothing negative about the game. Well, that's not entirely true. My one complaint about the game is that heroes are not heroic. They should just be called characters, possibly individuals. They should not be called heroes. That's not a complaint. It's a critique, because honestly, I get what they're supposed to do in this game. I'm just not using them right. So, okay. Whiny rant out of the way. In the middle, again, nothing happens. He doesn't move because he doesn't need to. He knows I got to come to him, and he's going to have fun shooting at me. And on the right, his dragon just kind of moves slightly, and that's it. He has no other intentions of doing anything. That's it for movement. During the pansy phase, he shoots at my siege breakers, and he does it with his big old horbrick, and he's able to just lay it on the law. I think he does 7 wounds, 8 wounds to him. It's absolutely insane. His bolt thrower takes some shots at him as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 total wounds now on my siege breakers. They are eating me alive. He is rolling out of the box, but that's not uncommon for this guy. He's got crazy luck. But in the end, I get really, really lucky, which was nice because it really wasn't looking good. I am only wavered, which sucks. It's going to slow them down a lot, but at least they didn't rout, which honestly they probably should have. I'll take what I can get. Then we go into combat, the best phase of the game. Anyway, his guys attack my Boomer Sergeant, and as you can see, all those dice were hits. He needed 3s to wound, I believe, and he got 3 wounds. 8 failed to wounds. We had to take a picture of the dice because it was that insane. Remember what I just said about him rolling really, really well? Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe the moon went behind the sun. I don't know. Maybe Jupiter went behind Uranus. It was crazy, and it was picture-worthy. So, yes, my Boomer Sergeant takes 3 wounds from this psychopathic unit. He is completely fine, and they back off an inch. No, he's probably not going to countercharge them next turn. In this combat, my giant takes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points of damage, and my opponent, great amount of wounds, can't complain at all. I know the character looks like he's in there, the captain is in there, he's not. He just couldn't back up anymore because of physics, but he's not in the combat, just a giant. We've learned. Anyway, the giant takes 12 points of damage, and my opponent rolls a 3. He's fine. He's perfectly fine. And he backs off an inch. Again, really stupid lucky with the nerve checks this game, or this turn. So we go to bottom of 2 after movement, and I am praying that my luck isn't running out yet. I move forward. I bring the Red Goblin Blaster up, daring the dragon to go after it. The Siege Breakers on the right flank sit there getting ready to countercharge. So really it's a stalemate between the Red Goblin Blaster, my Siege Breakers, and his dragon, and I'll take it. My Mammoth moves up into the forest as far as he can go, because again I can't add the double or advance past, I can't move past his speed through the forest, unfortunately. The Siege Breakers that are wavered stay perfectly still. There's nothing else they can do. My Berserker Braves move up just a little bit, but I do not want them taking a charge from his cav. I do not think that's a good combo. On the left side there, the other unit of Berserker Braves with Hatred slam into his tree guys after the Boomer Sergeant gets the hell out of the way. My captain, I toy was sending him in to deal with the cav with the giant, but I decide screw that. Giant goes in by himself, and the captain moves up to use his breath on the tree herder because I'm trying to get rid of that guy. I don't know what his nerve is. I'm sure it's something high, but it just seemed like a better idea. Maybe I should have charged him with the giant and just put as many wounds onto the cav as I could, but I'm awful at this game, so I'm sorry. I promise eventually I'll get average. And that's it for my movement. In the pansy phase, my army center has the healing charm, and he's able to heal 1 singular wound off the Siege Breakers, which really isn't going to do anything, but I guess it's better than nothing. And then we go into combat, because nothing else happens. Honestly, I forget to use my breath weapon with my captain, because I'm stupid. Anyway, we go into combat, and my giant is able to do 7 wounds to these cav guys. I was so pleased by that. I'm not able to rout this unit, but I am able to waver them, and I back off an inch, and that's great, because now my giant can go over there and deal with them next turn, and not really have anything to worry about. This is actually a really good position for me. This combat over here, my Berserkers with a Chant of Hate are able to do 8 wounds to this unit. Didn't roll great. Really didn't. But 8 wounds is better than no wounds, right? So I gotta take what I was given. In the end, it didn't matter anyway, because I rolled high enough to rout them. The Tree Herder is inspiring. I roll again, and I roll Snake Eyes. Oh, it hurts. It hurts in the soul. So I back off an inch and pray that they roll as bad against my Berserkers as they did against my Boomer Sergeant. Oh dear. And then we go to top of 3, which is really gonna hurt. On the left flank there, his wavered unit cav obviously don't do anything. His tree herder goes into the wounded Boomer Sergeant, and I can't blame him. The tree can go into the Berserker Braves, and oh god, nothing in the middle moves because it doesn't need to. And the dragon decides to just kind of sit there. He's within 12 inches of my blaster, which was really stupid by my part. And yeah, he's just going to breath weapon the shit out of it, and I'm in a lot of trouble. I suck at this game. We go into the pansy phase, and his dragon opens up with his breath weapon onto my blaster, and I get lucky, he only does 3 wounds. Now it's an 8-10, but he only does 3 wounds. The result is, I think he rolls like a 5, so it's only wavered, it doesn't explode. I'll take it. Who am I to complain? His big old unit of Sea Guard fire at my Berserker Braves, doing 5 more wounds to them, which is not a good look. They're probably going to break. His bolt throwers start firing at my Siege Breakers. What are they at now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 wounds. Oh no, my center's gone. Yeah, we go to the nerve check, and the Berserkers break. Even with the reroll, didn't matter. I think he rolled a 10 and a 10, and they were gone. Broke my heart. And that's when I knew. I even said, there were some guys watching, some friends of ours were watching. I was like, he just broke my center. My Siege Breakers are gone too, watch. And yeah. Yep, they're gone. They break, they rout immediately. And there I am with my army standard, ass in the wind, going, oh no. And I have no answer for anything in the center now. I'm screwed. We jump into combat, and his guys do not go easy on my Berserkers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 wounds. Beating the ever-loving crap out of this unit. Fortunately for me, I don't believe he's able to waver or rout me, and they back up an inch, and I got one more shot at it. I need to break something because I've run out of units. In this combat over here, I believe he does another 3 wounds to my Boomer Sergeant, which isn't great, not terrible. So he's up to 6. I don't believe he's the inspiring one either, so he's just whatever. He's out in the wind. I don't really care what happens to him. But I guess I kind of luck out. Instead of routing, he just becomes wavered, and that's fine because he's absolutely useless anyway. So, cool, I guess. That takes us to bottom of 3 after movement, and I go in. My Giant charges the Cav on the left flank. My Captain and my Berserker Braves charge the Treekin also on the left flank. In the middle, the Mammoth comes up just a little bit. If he gets charged by the Cav, I want him to go into the force so that they're hindered. And then on the right, my Blaster can't do anything but change facing, halt, or back up, so I just have him change face. And my my other unit of Siege Breakers that haven't fled off the table, they just kind of stay where they're at because they're having a standoff with the Dragon. That is it for movement. In the Pansy phase, my Army Standard is able to heal 2 wounds off the Blaster, which might avert catastrophe, and it might just be postponing the inevitable. And then we dive into combat, because, like I said, it's the best phase of the game. My Giant, clearly exhausted from its last battle, is only able to do 3 wounds to the Cav this time. Maybe he's got less targets, maybe they raised their shields this time, maybe he's just an idiot. I don't know, but only 3 more wounds are done to the Cav. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I am pleased to report, however, that while it wasn't enough to rout them, it was enough to waver them another turn. Which is great, because now my giant has purpose in life, and will continue to bash cavalry until either they finally rout, or the game ends. Either way, I'm beating on elves, and I feel good about that. In this combat, again, terrible rolls, absolutely atrocious rolls, with the combined attacks of the captain doubling his attacks for 10, woohoo, and the 30 attacks from the Berserker Braves. I'm only able to do 10 wounds to this unit. 10! That's awful. That is truly, truly awful. Luckily for me, even though they are only Treekin, the 10 wounds that I'm able to do is enough to rout them, and they're off the table, which is good, because, you know, dead elves and elf allies, always a positive. And then I reposition both my captain and my Berserker Braves. My Berserker Braves are going to go after his Tree Herder, and my captain's going to go after the Cav to help the Giant take them out next turn once and for all. With that over, I welcome you to top of 4 after movement. There's a little bit, not a ton. I believe his Cav changed facing to look at the captain. I don't know why, but he does, and I'm not going to complain about it. I believe his Tree Herder goes into the Boomer Sergeant. Can't blame him from that one. In the middle, nothing happens, and on the right flank there, his dragon moves over just a little bit so that he can continue to breathe hot death all over my Red Goblin Blaster. That is it for his movement. During the shooting phase, his I think his bolt throwers, I think these are all bolt throwers. Even though I'm in the forest, he hits me and wounds me 6 times. 6 times at -1. The man can shoot. His breath weapon is only able to do 1 more wound to my blaster. Still, with an 8-10, I'm nervous, but that's awesome. And to be quite frank with you, I get lucky as hell again. Instead of routing, he only wavers my blaster. Kinda sucks because I can't charge a dragon and do 2d6 wounds to him. But at the same time, at least he's not exploded, and the dragon's wasting his breath weapon on him. I'll take what I can get. We go into combat, and his Tree Herder beats the ever-loving tar on my Boomer Sergeant, I think doing 5 or 6 wounds to him, which is the Tree Herder's way of saying, I have had enough of you. The Boomer Sergeant gets the message and flees for the closest Ogre stronghold. He is routed. He really held up well, all things considered. Can't complain about the Boomer Sergeant's performance whatsoever. The Tree Herder then turns to face the incoming Berserker horde because, well, he knows it's coming, and that pretty much finishes off his turn. So here's bottom of 4 after movement, and as promised on the left flank, the Berserker Braves go into the Tree Herder, the Captain and Giant go into the Cav, and I'm hoping by the end of this turn the left flank is secure. On the right side, I move my Berserkers up a little bit closer to the Blaster. I'm trying to draw the dragon in. If I get too close, he's just going to run past me. If I get too far, I'm not going to be able to do anything because he's got range, so I'm trying to pull him in. I want him to charge my Siege Breakers already. It'll give me a shot. And that's really all I need at this point. I'm desperate. The Mammoth goes into the infantry because why not? I know he's going to countercharge me. I know he's going to end up killing my damn Mammoth Hunter, but I've got nothing else to do with him. He's just going to get shot at the table anyway. Might as well take a 1 in 1,000 chance and charge him into the infantry. Maybe I'll get lucky. Probably not. And that's it for my movement. During the Pansy phase, I'm able to take another wound off with my healing charm that's on my Armory Standard, so the Blaster is once again almost fully healed. And then we go into glorious combat. This one is not terrible. The useless captain does his little Weasley 5 attacks, but the giant knocks it out of the park, and together they're able to do 12 wounds, which is 2 more wounds than the Berserker captain combo was able to do last turn. I don't get it either. But whatever, 12 wounds on this Cav, that all but seals their fate. I am correct, they break, and my captain and my giant turn to look at the Tree Herder. Speaking of the Tree Herder, the Berserker Braves are able to do 5 wounds. 5. For the love of all that's holy, Dice Gods, why do these particular Braves suck so bad? 5 wounds to this thing. 30 attacks. You do the math, because apparently I can't. Needless to say, the tree herder is perfectly fine and is probably going to blow away those useless Braves next turn. I'm actually upset with the Braves. They have performed terribly this game. My hindered mammoth is able to do 4 wounds out of 12 attacks to his opponent, which is just these spindly little infantry elves. Not thrilled, but it was a throwaway shot, and needless to say, I threw it away. Elves are fine, and the mammoth awaits his sentence, which is probably going to be death. So, here's turn 5 after movement, and yes, his tree herder goes into my Berserker Braves. May he crush their soul. His archers and his cavalry slam into my mammoth, and we all knew that was going to happen. Nobody here watching this is stupid other than me. And even I knew it was coming. And then on the right side there, his dragon doesn't move. I guess he just doesn't feel the need still. He's going to try to keep breathing fire onto the stupid blaster until it explodes and kills all my stuff. And that's it for movement. During his pansy phase, I believe he opens up on... Gosh, I don't know where those wounds went. I think they went into my Boomer Sergeant, doing 4 wounds to him, which is really good shooting considering he was even in the forest. His dragon finally gets range and is able to put 5 wounds with his breath weapon onto my blaster, and that pretty much spells defeat for them. But wouldn't you know it, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds on him, and my opponent rolls a 3. He's wavered. He's not routed, so he's not detonating. I'll take what I can get. Who am I to complain? We go into combat, and the tree herder does 6 wounds to these fruity pieces of garbage Berserker Braves. I'm rooting for this damn tree herder now. He did more wounds with less attacks to these cowardly friggin' Braves than the Braves did with triple or more of his attacks. Unbelievable. I hope they all die. The tree herder deserves this win. And he gets it. The useless friggin' scumbags break and rout, and I'm glad. If they were real, I'd stomp them into the ground. They performed horribly this game. Horribly. And if they were alive, they would be ashamed of themselves, because I certainly am. Unbelievable how bad that unit was. Tree herder turns around and looks at the captain like, what are you going to do? And the captain's like, I don't know. Those guys were terrible. And they both kind of chuckle at just how true that is. This one is so bad, though. This is not the mammoth's fault at all. 150% mine. This poor bastard takes 33 Oh, no. Yeah. I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't know it was going to be this bad. They just straight murdered my poor mammoth. And I have nothing but good things to say about my mammoth. He didn't deserve that, but what a way to go. Afterwards, the elves reform thusly. Bastards. Well, there's not much left, but here's bottom of 5 after movement, and the giant and the captain go into the tree herder because why not? They're actually a pretty good team. And on the right side there, my Berserker Braves get a little bit closer to the dragon, and my what's it called? Blaster backs up just an inch or so, just half its moving back, and I surround him with my inspiring characters because I know he's probably going to blow up this turn. I just don't care anymore. I'm just trying to get that damn dragon. There's no way I can win this game. There's no answers that I have. Now it's just kill as many elves as we can, and that's it for movement. During the pansy phase, I'm able to take 2 wounds off the Red Goblin Blaster, which is pretty good. And then we go into combat. The combined attacks from the captain and the giant puts 9 wounds on this tree herder, which is, I think, brings him up to 14, which is really good. But I roll exceptionally low, and I'm only able to waver this stupid thing. Which, again, is better than it charging me, and considering my giant should be dead, I'll take what I can get. So, yeah, next turn, baby. Next turn. That brings us to top of 6 after movement, but I forgot to take a picture. There was a lot going on. Well, there wasn't a whole lot going on, but at this point I'm just crying, so I just forgot to take a picture. I apologize. That doesn't mean that significant things didn't happen, really, other than his cav moving up, and that's really it. His giant ran over to the side behind the Berserker Braves to breath weapon my army standard. Anyway, his archers and his bolt throwers fire at my Red Goblin Blaster and is only able to put 1 wound on it. He started rolling a little low, which I'll take, but he still did a wound, and that's really bad. His bolt thrower on my left flank fires at my captain, does a single wound to him, but he's perfectly fine. And the inevitable happens, the blaster explodes. It does significant damage to the 2 characters that I had around them. 3, 6, 9, 10 wounds, and 10 wounds to the army standard, and then I think 8 or 9 to the Boomer Sergeant, and that sucks. I do not remember how many it did to the Siege Breakers. I can't remember. I don't see it on here. It might not have hit them, which would have been weird, but whatever. It sucks, and it's just par for the course. I'm playing like ass. That takes us to bottom of 6, and there's really nothing to do or say. The captain of the giant charge into the tree herder. I think I change facing with my siege breakers. The 2 characters that are left turn to look at the dragon. That's it for movement. We go into combat, and the Captain Giant combo is able to do another 9 wounds to the tree herder, which hopefully, please God, let it be enough to kill this stupid thing. It is. Thank you, God. We roll the dice, and turns out there will be a turn 7. So my opponent runs off. He doesn't want to take any chances, doesn't want to deal with anything on the right there, so he runs over to the left and is going to try to knock my giant off the table and possibly my characters with shooting. That's it. As you can see, his dragon's in the middle, his archers and everything kind of turn to face the giant and the captain. That's really it for movement. In the pansy phase, his archers fire at my giant, and luckily for me, only do 1 wound. And then the bolt throwers that can see the giant fire at him and do 2 more wounds to him, putting him at somewhere around 15 or 16 wounds. And, of course, the giant routs. I can't be upset at all. The giant was amazing this game. And thanks to the Elven 7th turn... He would have survived, and I just rolled less than a 5, damn it. Oh well, is what it is. Here is the bottom of 7 after movement. There's not a whole lot, really. My captain runs around. The Boomer Sergeant runs over. They're going to try to shoot whatever they got at the dragon and maybe get lucky as hell, which, honestly, I don't see how it's even possible. But why not? I got nothing else to do, and there ain't no quit in me. Well, there is. It's just I'm choosing to believe there isn't. That's it for move. The captain actually does something with his breath weapon and does 2 wounds to the dragon. That's it. 2 measly wounds. Needless to say, they giggle about it. And there it is. There's the end of the game. What a slugfest. I got trounced, and my opponent played beautifully. My army is subpar. Well, my army list is subpar. There's nothing wrong with the ogres. My list, the way I played them, this loss is 100. Well, I'm going to say it's about 70% me and 50% my opponent's fault. You know, that math works out for me. I'm well aware I made a lot of mistakes. I'm well aware that my opponent played beautifully while I played horrendously. But I had a lot of stupid fun, and we were laughing the whole time. And you know what? Elves died. It made me feel good on the inside. But you know what? We'll get to the recap right away because this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Like I said, this was a defeat for Lord Tremendous. I got 730 points out of him, he got 1,360 out of me, for a difference of 630 points. Woo! At least I didn't get tabled again. I lost a Boomer Sergeant, all of my Braves, 1 unit of Siege Breakers, a Mammoth, a Giant, and a Red Goblin Blaster. Oh, but you know what? I killed at least 1 elf, so my sacrifice was worthy. I may have gotten my ass kicked, and I don't have a problem with that at all, because this game is so much damn fun. All I can think is I can't wait for my Varangar to be ready. I don't think I'll be any better with them, I just can't wait to have the models on the table, or units on the table, I should say. I still suck at this game. I'm starting to figure out why. I get it, it's just... it's gonna take some time. I got a lot of games to lose before my mind finally makes the jump. The captain, for example, is a poor choice. I don't know why they even bother putting him on a chariot. They're garbage. They're not heroes. They're characters. They're support. That's what should be called, support. Need to find a happy medium between fun and functional for my armies and for myself. Right now, I'm all fun. But you know what? We're laughing. We're having a riot. We're really enjoying the game, and we have a local tournament coming up after this, and a dozen guys show up, which is extraordinary for my group. So the Elven Dragon was a pain. I didn't sacrifice, but I had to dedicate too many units to trying to punk it. In the end, it finally just outmaneuvered me and ate me alive. The only reason I was able to outmaneuver for so long is because he was afraid of my blaster. Had he blown it up like he should have, thanks to the dice gods he didn't, it would have been a much, well, I probably would have got tabled. I definitely need more support in my army, and honestly, I just need more games to figure out what the hell I'm doing. As bad as I am at this game, though, it makes me love it more. I love the challenge. I love playing the game. It's quick, it's fun, and it's brutal. It's weird, but I'm actually enjoying getting my teeth kicked down my throat. So, what can you say? That was awesome. All in all, though, like I've said, this was a wonderful game against a really wonderful opponent. He's my hetero life mate. I absolutely love playing games with him. And needless to say, I love to kill elves. Doesn't matter the game, doesn't matter the system. As long as I get to murder elves, I'm having a blast. I cannot wait for our rematch. But that's it. Battle Report number 8 is officially in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But as always, guys, thanks.